Every human being believes they're in control of their thoughts, their choices, their beliefs. But what if I told you that most of what shapes who you are is invisible? You don't notice it. You don't question it. You just become it. From the moment you open your eyes, you're being programmed, not by a machine, but by patterns. Patterns of attention, perception, morality, and expectation. And the ones who understand these patterns don't just survive, they control. There's a man who used to believe he was moral, disciplined, respected. He worked a stable job, lived in a quiet apartment, and followed every rule he was told would lead to a good life. But one day, he lost his job. The comfort disappeared. The food ran low. And when rent came due, his morals began to blur. He took money from a friend he promised to pay back but never could. He lied to his parents about being okay, and he felt something inside him break. A quiet realization that the man he thought he was only existed when life was easy. Later, he noticed something else. When he walked into a room and spoke quietly, people ignored him. But when he straightened his back, spoke slower, and looked others in the eye, suddenly, they listened. Nothing about him changed except the frame. He realized the world doesn't care who you are, only how you present yourself. That's when he started to see through the illusion. Every social situation, every conversation, every moral judgment was a system of invisible forces shaping how people behave. And one by one, he started seeing them all. If I told you I was going to kill 4 people and 1 monkey, you wouldn't ask why the people. You'd only ask why the monkey. Because morals, emotions, or logic don't matter if something breaks the pattern. It's called the von Restorff Effect. Your brain processes information in layers: value, meaning, morality. But above almost everything sits contrast. When something breaks the pattern, it takes all the attention away from anything else. That's why in a room of 20 people introducing themselves, you won't remember the 20 who say, "Hi, I work in sales." You'll remember the one who says, "I'll be running this company in 10 years." The brain deletes sameness and highlights difference. And this effect is stronger than almost any other trick. Stronger than appeals to morality, stronger than emotions, and stronger than logic. So if you want to be unforgettable, here's the principle. Always create the monkey in the room. First, study the pattern. What's normal? What people expect? What blends in? Then break it. That's the lever for attention, for influence, and for money. Safe behavior gets ignored. Scandals skyrocket because they rip someone out of the pattern and burn them into memory. And if you've really fucked up with something, you can still use this. Throw out a bigger pattern break. Create the monkey that pulls every eye so people fixate on that and forget the rest. Don't waste time trying to be perfect or moral. If you want to stay in people's heads, you have to be the thing that breaks the pattern. No matter how ordinary someone is, they still believe they're unique, and that belief is the perfect way to make them think exactly what you want. People don't just want to be unique, they need to be. It's wired into us. The brain clings to anything that makes us feel special because it reinforces our self-worth. If you want to plant an idea in someone's head, don't present it as something everyone believes. Instead, frame it as a perspective that only a select few are smart enough, strong enough, or independent enough to understand. Make it seem like the masses don't get it. Only those who truly think for themselves do. The moment someone accepts that framing, their ego does the rest. And once a belief becomes part of their identity, they won't just accept it, they'll defend it with everything they have. You think you're a good person, but take away your comfort, your food, your security, your stability, and you'll see how quickly your morals vanish. Morality isn't universal, it's a privilege. And the moment survival is at stake, the mask comes off. Under extreme pressure, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for morality, gets overridden by the amygdala, which only cares about keeping you alive. Suddenly, what was once unthinkable becomes logical. You lie, steal, betray, and your mind justifies it. Not because you're a bad person, but because morality was never about truth. It was about what was convenient. If you want to know who someone truly is, don't watch them when they're comfortable. Watch them when they're desperate. Pressure reveals character faster than time. This is how you identify who you can trust and who will betray you when the world turns dark. The world doesn't care who you really are. It only cares about how you present yourself. If you don't control the frame, someone else will, and you won't like the role they give you. People don't follow the truth. They follow the most convincing version of it. That's why a confident idiot gets more respect than a hesitant genius. Perception beats reality every time. Your posture, your tone, the way you occupy space, all of it tells people how to treat you before you say a single word. Walk like you belong, and people assume you do. Hesitate, and they'll treat you like an outsider. This is why powerful people never explain. They declare. They don't ask for permission. They assume authority. The world will always put you in a box. Make sure it's one you build yourself. No matter what someone does, they don't betray you or do something wrong. They simply act differently than you expected. Every disappointment comes from your own expectations, not their actions. Every disappointment you feel is just expectation violation. Your brain projected your own values onto someone else, and then got shocked when they acted from their own values. This is called projection bias. We assume others think like us, care like us, and make the same choices we would. But people don't act based on your values. They act based on their mental models, their needs, their past. And when they disappoint you, your brain doesn't just feel pain, it takes it personal. Your limbic system interprets their behavior as rejection, as threat. So you question your worth and the relationship, but it was never about you. The fix isn't to trust less, it's to expect less and observe more. Next time you feel let down, pause. Ask, did they actually break a promise, or did I just expect them to be someone they never claimed to be? This reframing activates your prefrontal cortex, overriding your emotional limbic response. Over time, it rewires your brain to separate what people do from what you wanted them to do. Everything you just heard connects to one truth. People are not driven by reason. They are driven by patterns. Patterns of comfort, patterns of validation, patterns of identity. Break those patterns, and you'll see how fragile morality, logic, and even love truly are. Master those patterns, and you'll understand what truly moves people, not just what they say moves them. The man from the story learned that the hard way. He stopped chasing approval and started studying contrast. He stopped trying to be seen as moral and started becoming aware of his instincts. And he stopped blaming others for disappointment, because he finally saw that expectations are just projections we paint over other people. The world is not built on truth. It's built on perception, memory, and emotion. And if you can understand the mechanics of those things, you can stop being controlled by them. Because in the end, power isn't about controlling others. It's about not being unconsciously controlled yourself.